Wait, are there 5 of us in this podcast this time?
Wait, hang on. Why is
There's someone in here.
Why is Ash
Why
here?
is Ash here?
Hello, Ash.
Right, okay. I think I understand now. When Zach says, okay, podcast now, XOXO, it's him telling me he's doing the podcast now. Not telling me to get on the podcast now.
You're not invited.
Oh,
Jeez.
uh,
Go away, Ash. No one likes you.
my feelings.
Well-
Oh.
Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, episode 5. I'm Zach. I'm here with Kieron, Jordan, and Azza, and we're going to talk to you all about E3.
E3.
How you going, guys?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, doing pretty solid.
It's cold and rainy over here, so I'm happy.
I've got tea and a bathrobe, so I am very comfy.
The perfect pre-supermarket shift.
Oh, God.
I can't think of the word.
Night fill.
Routine.
That's the one. That's my dead end job.
Well.
Speaking of dead end jobs, it's E3 week.
Serfdom, yay!
What do you guys, how was your weekend, and what have you guys been playing over the weekend? Or since last time we spoke?
Well, I have actually been playing Halo again, because I've been, with all the E3 going on, I've been very excited to hear more about Halo Infinite, and to see if those rumors about Marty O'Donnell coming back to do the soundtrack were true.
Have
And
you played the SPV3 mod for the original Halo?
no, I have not. I actually haven't played any Halo PC mods for a while.
Oh, you should do it. It's pretty good.
I really do want to get back into those mods, but I'm just flat out
Does
with
that-
stuff at the moment.
Jordan, does that one feature our favorite talking train?
Of course. Why do you think I'm recommending it?
Good.
Jordan, you still playing Zelda?
I finished it on the weekend, which was nice. I pumped it out, and I finally started up Metro, which is after putting in some time to make it work how I wanted it to work on PC. It's been a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
Them jank games.
4A, if you're listening, you need a new engine, or you need to stop using NVIDIA technology, one of the two. Yeah.
They do listen to this podcast.
Oh,
They do.
man, thank God.
How does it look with, because didn't they boast it was like the first game or one of the first games to have or support ray tracing or something?
I don't have ray tracing activated. I don't want to
right.
run at 15 frames a second.
Okay. So it's that good.
Yes.
Nice, but are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's the voice acting's a bit stilted, but that's Metro for you.
It's just
But
a jank game.
But I love the animation. It's just you can just read the characters so well just off of their animations, which is nice. A lot of games don't really do that.
And you've played the other two, I remember, I think.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I loved them.
Where does it rank in those three so far?
It's hard to tell because I've only played like an hour of it, but I find the intro of it a bit weird.
What are you talking
Like, it's
about? That's
like
an hour is more than enough time to have an opinion on something. Get on the internet.
Hey,
Isn't that what we
hey,
play
come
to
on!
review games now?
I am not a certain editor that just copy paste reviews. All right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not one to brag, but I'm a pro gamer. I love games so much. I've even bought a couple, and I've played them
No
too.
way. Okay, see that's
That's
even further because Zach's bought a lot of games, but he's played like
Yeah.
one or two.
Well,
The ultimate PC curse.
I buy the same game twice. Does that count as 3 games I've played? Or
You can only buy Troll and I so many times, mate.
I love that game. Kieran, you have you been playing?
What have
anything?
I been playing? I still playing Team Sonic Racing. I started Layers of Fear 2, which I know you and I have differing opinions on the first game. And I've played about a quarter of that and haven't really gone back to it because it didn't really grab me, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'll probably stick with it.
So is it possible that Layers of Fear 2 to you will be what Layers of Fear 1 was to Zach?
Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe it'll be a flip. So like he'll love Layers of Fear 2 and you'll hate it. And
Well, if it's bad, he'll love it.
Yeah, well, what isn't this one on a boat? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on a boat, and like one of the first things I really liked about the first game was like the atmosphere and the way it kind of had all these crazy experiences, but all within the confines of this one like mansion or house or whatever. And you sort of, after playing it for a few hours, you got a feel for the house and the rooms and stuff in it. But this one, like the boat is a weird environment because it does the horror game trope of like sending you in circles or like looping rooms or like changing where doors go and stuff like straight from the outset. So you don't really get any sense of where you are because it tries to throw you straight away pretty much. So yeah, the boat thing is weird. It's just like a series of samey corridors and stuff so far.
Is the voice acting better this time?
No.
Excellent.
Hey, there's something beautiful to be said about bad voice acting.
Yeah.
look, if you want bad voice acting, just play Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, yeah.
Or listen to the WellPlayed podcast.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I reviewed that too. I can't remember the voice acting.
That's how bad it is. No, the thing that annoys me with that game's voice acting is some of the voice acting for like the actual, what are these, Bolivians? Some Spanish speaking people. Yeah. The voice acting for some of those is really good, but then at other points it's horrendous, and the fact that it's so inconsistent is what upsets me the most. Because I'd either love it for it to be bad, because then I can laugh at it and like appreciate it for being bad, rather than going, oh, this voice acting is good, this voice acting is terrible. It's just, yeah.
I don't think voice acting
jarring experience.
I don't think voice acting is ever going to get any better than "You were almost a Jill sandwich." Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great lines in that game.
Oh yes, definitely.
Over the weekend, I cracked out Porsche Challenge.
Ooh.
For a little bit.
Oldie bit of goldie.
Yeah, well, I'm writing a piece on it at the moment, so I've been I played like a little bit of it over the past month and stuff, like a race or two here and there, but I actually went down and I actually played like the campaign or like the championship, and I forgot how fucking hard it is. I couldn't even get past the second race. I just kept losing so many times. Because if you don't finish first, like you don't progress to the next race.
Yeah, I remember that. It was the worst. Like you would just come second and be like, "No, you lost."
Yeah. And
so would you call it the Dark Souls of Porsche racing games?
Yes, I would.
You fucking journalists! It's
always
Dark Souls with you people.
It's still heaps of fun, and I'm definitely enjoying it. But what surprised me is I knew this, but I didn't remember it. But it's only got 4 tracks, so yeah. I was thinking, just imagine if like Need for Speed came out, like a new Need for Speed, and it was like 4 tracks. Like the world would just go into meltdown. So
didn't they pretty much do the same thing, but for Star Wars Battlefront?
I was gonna say.
Well, yeah. Different game, you know. I mean, like a racing game. But yeah, it was just surprising. I was like, "Where's the rest of the tracks?" Like,
what I love about that game, I love how there's like, what is it, 6 or 7 different Porsches. They're all the same. They're just a different color with a different driver.
Yeah. Well, it's the best. It's just the Porsche box, and I love how in the manual, like all the drivers have like a little backstory. It's great. I might even do like a audiobook.
I miss those manuals, stories, the backstories in old games. Like I've got the old Sonic games, the old like even Pac-Man and stuff. Like they'd write these elaborate all this lore for these characters that do not need it.
And they were always in really nice color too. Like I remember looking through some NES manuals just for shits and gigs, and they're all freaking gorgeous.
The Sega Master System manuals were gross. They're in like blue and white print, not black and white.
Yeah,
blue
and
white.
It's awful. Looks bad.
Did the PS3 start off with manuals?
Yes.
the
I
games,
think,
like-
and then they end up.
I think
just-
some games here and there still did
Yeah.
it, and they still do every now and then. Mostly like
it's-
more niche
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, but it's not. It's unfortunately not a common thing. I think it was EA that stopped first, if I recall correctly. They stopped putting manuals in their games, like physical manuals. Obviously, they still give out like digital manuals, but even that's only sometimes.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Like, what sort of like was it environmental things that brought it down, or just cuss cutting, or
They
just-
said it was
Cutting in the guise of environmental.
yeah. They said it was
I-
environmental, but you know, video
I
game
highly
publishers.
doubt it's environmental.
No, they said it was,
Yeah.
but again, that's just corporate speak for. We don't want to spend money on this.
I mean, their CEO Andrew Wilson is Australian, so we know we can't trust him.
I always forget that.
He's just a solid shit poster. That's why he did it.
All right, Jordan, you also played a bit of Code Vein. You had the network test code or whatever it was.
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah. I
How's
did.
that?
I'm still not sure on how I feel about it. It has some promise, but the parts that really make the most impact for a game like
Are the
that just
titties.
felt a bit. Well, yeah, there's a boob slider, so
Is there
There's
really
a lot of
boob
anime
slide?
titties
there is
in that
there
game.
is there is a boob slider.
Okay. Can you explain what this game is again? I thought it was like
so
Dark Souls.
yeah, you can kind of look at it like Dark Souls. The gameplay has some elements which are quite similar, like iframes and your dodging based and reaction based gameplay, but it kind of lacks a lot of the level design that made Dark Souls what it was, and the art is just kind of like it has its moments of being really pretty, but it's more or less just. Oh, there's just so much with it that just feels flat. Like the voice acting sucks. Like it really sucks. Like, it's not even so bad that you can appreciate it. It's just bad. The level
Just like
design.
Layers of Fear, then.
So it borders more on mediocre than like actually just bad.
No,
If
it's
it's that
just
forgettable.
no. It's memorable because it's so bad. Like they just don't
Okay.
they don't understand what tone is. So like a person who has like a sword that's like speared right through him, he doesn't like have any audible winces or anything. He just talks normally because that's just how people work,
Yeah.
right? But some of the animation is pretty good. I'll give it that. For a beta, it actually ran surprisingly well.
Well, do you think that's because I know that wasn't it scheduled to come out late last year and then it got delayed to basically TBA?
Yeah, I think it was scheduled for like September last year.
Yeah, and then I know it was like 1 or 2 months beforehand. It was just delayed till 2019.
Yeah, and I definitely can see how the polish for the performance and everything and the optimizations would have come through due to that delay. And it's it's a good thing to see if they think that they can make the game better than what it is, and they just need a little more time, or more. Why not let them? But I can already see some issues like just boring level design. It doesn't really understand what enemy placement and design means when it comes to being a conducive and challenging experience. It kind of just goes, oh ho ho, enemy hit hard, so game hard, instead of going, oh, you have to be wary of these environments. We're going to teach you about this early on so you can try and combat it later on. It's kind of, honestly, if I was to compare it to a Dark Souls game, it'd be Dark Souls 2, because Dark Souls 2 throws out all the good things about Dark Souls 1 and just adds bad things.
Now,
So-
that's a controversial statement.
I love Dark Souls 2, but
Yeah.
it's
We
the
all love
weakest
Dark
link.
Souls too, but deep down we know it's the special. We know it's the ginger cousin.
but not the hot
Um,
ginger cousin.
So that game would have been as far as I could have gathered. You were quite excited for that game last year. Is
Yeah,
your
so
hype
early-
up or down
Oh,
or the same?
I'd say it's about the same. My hype has been kind of progressively dying for it. And that's just because they're not really telling us anything. And the thing that happened, what you got to be careful with delays is if you delay but don't communicate well, you kind of send off a bad message about what's going on with your game. But if you communicate effectively with your delay, then you can kind of preserve the hype that people have around it. And naturally, I've seen a lot of people that are still hyped about the game, and you know what? If they enjoy it, good on them. And I'll probably still, give it a whirl when it comes out. I'm always happy to give a game a go because it's entirely possible that, just what they showed us isn't the best of what the game has to offer. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'd say it's about the same, to be honest. There were some things I liked and some things I didn't like. Some of the systems are really cool, like how the different weapons, and I loved the armor that you can have because basically the armors dictate the different animations you have, which is really cool. So you have different backstab animation depending on what gear you're using. The parry system was a bit weird, kind of threw me for a loop, but it's neither here nor there. Overall, though, yeah, I'd say I'm still relatively keen to pick it up.
So one last question, and this could just be a different wording, but when it says network test, like what does that mean? Is that just
So
different word for beta, or?
it more or less is, but they more kind of do these network tests because generally, and I'm basing it off of experience with Dark Souls network tests, it's kind of trying to refine the netcode because it's based off of peer-to-peer instead of being dedicated servers, which makes sense because most multiplayer matches are relatively small, so it's a bit of a waste of money to have big servers for like tiny matches.
So this is a multiplayer game.
Yes, I didn't really get a chance to try out the multiplayer because no one I knew was playing it, and I was like, I don't feel like playing with randoms because they're either really good or they're just a pain in the ass and make me want to jump out the window. And so I unfortunately didn't get to test it. I wish I did, but I just didn't have the time. But yeah, so I think from what I can garner, it's kind of similar to how Dark Souls handles its multiplayer aspect, where it's you can bring people into your world to help you progress, and then each person has their limitations and their rules to adhere by. So like, I think when people are summoned in, the host can't rest. So once you summon someone, you gotta kind of just deal with it until you either die or beat a boss or whatever. The people that are summoned can't rest and all that junk. But unfortunately, I can't really comment any further because I didn't really get to try the online aspect.
That's fair.
Cool. Well, as long as I guess you had some fun and still looking forward to the full game, we'll move on to some E3 talk because I think that this will take up a lot of our time. Yes. We might start with some pre-E3 news before going into the full E3 predictions.
So juicy.
I guess we'll start with Sony and them sort of dropping a bit of a bombshell sort of with Death Stranding, the trailer and the release date. Yes. I mean, I didn't think that we'd see this year. I didn't even think we'd see it next year maybe, if not until late next year. So yeah, this was quite surprising. What did you all think?
It makes me want to buy a PS4.
I actually have not watched it. Truth be told, I don't really have any allegiance to Kojima. The only game of his that I grew up playing was Zone of the Enders.
Yeah,
that was it.
A man of culture, I see.
Yeah. So, and honestly, I mean, I mad respect to the person. He's done an incredible amount of work for the industry, and there's a reason why he's as popular as he is. But I didn't grow up with his games, so I just didn't have any real drive to go, oh, I have to watch this stream.
Kieron, what do you think? You're quite excited for it?
I am. I'm pretty excited for it. It actually it came off as less weird and like obfuscated and stuff than I thought it was gonna be.
Are you sure it's a Kojima game?
Yeah, it doesn't have the right to call itself a Kojima game. No, everything that I've sort of, with every new trailer they've released, I've sort of started coming to conclusions about, what it could be about and what the gameplay's like. And it's pretty much coming to that point now where it seems like it is what I've been predicting, which is kind of cool. I like a lot of the ideas. It's hard to say because they're still not talking about the gameplay from, a start to finish perspective, like what the moment to moment gameplay is like. It's still very vague, but it looks cool and it looks very pretty and it's got a lot of cool people in it. So I'm excited.
Do you think he's not discussing the key details for the gameplay because he knows that he doesn't really need to?
Probably, yeah. And there's probably a lot he wants to keep, close to his chest. I think that from the looks of it, there's going to be a lot of live / community based aspects to it where people are going to be sort of discovering things about the game as the world is playing it. So I think they're probably going to keep a lot of that under wraps until it launches.
One thing that really interested me about it was how every time somebody kills one of the enemies in the game, that kill goes into like a central server and it will appear in someone else's game. So theoretically, the more enemies people kill, the harder the game will get for everybody. So I'm just waiting
Really?
for like a troll platoon to go around just killing as many people as they can to bugger it up for everyone else.
I think hiding some of the gameplay stuff, even the story stuff, is all part of its appeal.
Yeah.
As well, keeping it sort of mysterious and not knowing like what's going on or what it even is. And,
yeah, well, that's been the fun this whole time, is just trying to unravel it and figure it out. Which, yeah, you're right. It's half the point.
Because I was I was intrigued. I'm not really sold on a Kojima game, but I'm definitely intrigued. And when I saw, I think in that trailer, there's 15, 20 seconds of him shooting, I think, or maybe even like 10 seconds, and it just looked a bit, it just like I was expecting some sort of, I don't know, like amazing new shooting mechanic, but it was just
that's one of the things that kind of surprised me, that it had sort of, I guess, quote unquote normal looking combat and stuff in it, which I was kind of under the same impression that maybe Kojima had invented some kind of new mechanic that nobody's seen before, but maybe he's run out of ideas for new stuff like that.
Given it's a Kojima game, question for Azza and Kieran. Do you think the story will make sense?
No. Not the first time.
I think it won't make sense until he explains it.
People are still trying to figure out how Metal Gear Solid actually works. So,
do you reckon Kojima secretly wrote the Kingdom Hearts plotline?
I have no doubt. That was just something he did in his spare time.
I think if that's sort of the metric for whether Kojima or not had a hand in it, he must have written my life.
He must have ran all our lives. Let's be real.
He's
we'll move on to the next bit of news, but I didn't mention it before, sorry, but Death Stranding is launching on November 8th, 2019 for PS4. We'll go to just whatever's next on the list here. So THQ, they announced, was it like 2 weeks ago or something, that they were going to bring 2 games to E3, or 2 unannounced games to E3, sorry. One was like a throwback to an old franchise, and one was a revision of another one, or something along those lines. And it looks like both of them have been leaked. The first one was Ash's Baby, which is Darksiders. I'm going to open this link. I don't know, how many have you played Darksiders 3 or any of the Darksiders games?
I played the first 2.
I played the first game, but I never really got into the second game because I just never really got.
I know
got there.
Ash tried to get me to play them, and I said I would, but I never did.
Oh, that's very upsetting. Poor Ash. So in Ash's little piece here, apparently it's called Darksiders Genesis. Yeah, and it's a picture from that infamous
8chan Q&A.
I've forgotten the name of it. Yeah, 8chan.
I wonder if it'll have 8chan functionality. Where every time you die, it just calls you the N-word.
If it's on 8chan, do you reckon those are secretly just links to like porn?
I wish.
our
Because I
website
mean,
is safe.
Monster
listening.
Jam. That sounds like a porno.
Oh, you mean those there, right?
Desperados,
did-
Monster Jam.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't really mention anything about the game from what I can see. It just sort of gives it's a new Darksiders game, and it's taking the franchise in a fresh direction. And it's there that it's just called Darksiders Genesis.
Does that mean
anyone interested in that?
Does that mean we'll get a Phil Collins soundtrack for it?
I would be down for that. Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah.
I would. No one came for that apart from Ash.
No,
Sorry,
we'll
I
just
like-
let Ash have his baby.
I'd like to see what it's like because like I really really enjoyed the first two games, but after reading Ash's review of the third game and after watching some videos and stuff, I really wasn't feeling it. So if they are kind of taking it in a new direction like they say they are, then hopefully it's good.
I've actually played the third one.
What do you think?
Although,
Wow, that of all
Um,
games is what you have played.
Well, hang on, let me. I've played like 2 hours of it. I didn't mind it. I was keen to sort of keep playing. It did sort of get very repetitive. I felt like I was just doing like the same attacks over and over again, and it felt. I mean, it was right up my alley, being a sort of like a double A game. But yeah, it didn't grab me entirely. But I was keen to sort of check it out more. But I mean, like most things, I didn't ever go back to it. Sorry, Ash. The other game that THQ have, or that they're supposedly announcing, is a new Red Faction game.
Yeah.
yes.
Which
I think some of you are quite excited.
hopefully it's more like Armageddon and not like the other one. No, hopefully more like Guerrilla and not like Armageddon.
I've never heard a more agreeable statement in my entire life.
Yeah.
So this one here, we didn't cover it, but on the link I'm reading at comicbook.com, it was looked like it was leaked via a game supported by NVIDIA Ansel page,
Yeah.
I think, or a listing. Yeah, so there was rumors that it was going to be a Destroy All Humans game or a new one. But that looks like that I've been reading that it looks like this is actually the one that they were referring to.
Well,
I've played the first one. I don't remember. What one was that called?
I think we should
Was
Like
that
on
just
the
Red Faction?
PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the one with like the red cover.
I
and the-
remember the first one because I was very little and I had my mate Luke, whose house I went to play PS2, and would play the game and would shoot the enemies with the grenade launcher and just see their feet just sticking on the floor. That was it. And we found it to be the funniest thing in the world.
It's still the funniest thing in the world.
It is. It's pretty great.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so I'm keen to sort of see what this is. I haven't played a first-person shooter, like a good one since probably like Wolfenstein.
Well, it could be third person too if it's anything like Guerrilla.
Didn't you finally play Doom like last year, Zach?
No, I played Doom like before Wolfenstein.
Oh, okay.
We'll get back to that.
My mistake.
We'll get back to
Yeah.
Doom.
The other good, I guess the other big news is the Modern Warfare reboot. I'll let someone else
Yeah.
take the reins of this. Maybe Jordan. I think you're pretty keen on it.
I'm
Well-
both keen and not keen at the same time. I'm keen because I loved Modern Warfare growing up. It was like one of the shooters that I played. So I'm I'm mixed with this. I'd be keen to give it a go, especially because I've heard that some of the key members from the original Modern Warfare team are making a return for this. And it seems like that they're trying to focus on a bit more of an intimate single player experience, which is good because COD single player experiences have been kind of rubbish for a long time. Notably since Zampella and his mates left to make Respawn.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's got no season pass, which is a shocker because it's Activision and they pretty much try to promote every, margin of profit imaginable.
They'll find a way.
But-
They'll
yeah,
find,
they've
life finds a
it-
way.
it'll probably ask you to buy like a battle pass before you even launch the game or something. Um, and it's got crossplay, which is an interesting choice. Like, not that crossplay is bad, but with Twitch shooters especially,
in a hyper
mouse and
shooter.
keyboard is a huge advantage. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still play quite competently with controller. In fact, on my time playing COD on PC at a mate's house, I played with a controller just because that's what I was familiar with, and I could still hold my own. But I could definitely see, when push comes to shove, mouse and keyboard is far more precise for a game like that.
You would hope for filters or lobbies or whatever for people that don't want to play against people with different.
I'm hoping
control
they
methods.
do it the way. I don't know how many other games do cross-play, but I know Dauntless and I think it's Gears of War 4 with their cross-play. You have to opt in for it.
Yeah.
I hope it's something like that, because you don't want the 12-year-old Johnny, whatever his surname will be, to pick up a game and to just get steamrolled for an hour and then go, I hate this game.
Yeah.
And then mum goes, I thought you were going to like it. Like, it's
big
just...
mood.
Yeah. As there is Johnny, fellas. But yeah, it's a really good choice, because crossplay is a great way to stop a player base from dying, because PC is a good platform for keeping games alive.
It depends on the game.
It's true. It does depend on the game, but there are a lot of games that are dead on console that are just alive on PC.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
I tried Titanfall 2 not long ago on Xbox, and I looked at the player numbers for the Xbox Titanfall 2, and they were just nothing compared to PC.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm definitely interested to see what Modern Warfare has to offer, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's launching on October 25.
Yep.
As I think I just cut you off.
Yeah, no,
You're
that's
gonna
fine.
say-
That's fine. We can move along.
The other, I guess, pre-E3 news is that a couple of Ubisoft's projects or unannounced games have been leaked. One of them was Roller Champions. It looks like it's a roller derby.
Well, it's
derby,
more
however you say
more
it.
rollerball than roller derby, but actually,
I was just reading. Off
Are you
the,
going to do that every podcast?
yes.
the link?
Yes.
And I was going to say, is Georgie the one that does roller derby, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it is,
she's
Kieron? Or is that
she's taking a break from it at the moment.
okay?
But yeah, her and Edward's partner as well, both to do the derbs.
Cool. This could be a nice little party game
Yeah.
for you guys. So that was leaked. It looks, from what I think I've read, it's going to be free to play. I haven't really checked it out too much, but the major one, which is, I guess, which killed my predictions article, was the leak of Watch Dogs Legion.
Yes. Now, I am very keen on this for one reason. The director for Far Cry 2 has made a return.
Right.
Oh, really?
Which I didn't add in my post. Yeah, I read that after I posted mine.
Oh,
So
snap.
pretty much all of Ubisoft's best games can pretty much be attributed to him. The Splinter Cell games back when they were good. Far Cry 2, which is like the baby of all Far Cry.
You're getting my
is
jaws
just
very
so good.
tight right now.
Yeah. Oh, dude. As soon as I read he was making a return, I was like, I have to get this.
Yeah, I'm quite excited. I've liked both Watch Dogs games. I'm the guy that prefers Watch Dogs to GTA, so I'm that guy.
I'm
I'm very keen.
I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it. How long ago was it that Ubisoft was like, don't worry, our games aren't about politics. Stop.
Yes, that's what I
arguing
was about to
them. And
say.
it's like
post-Brexit
London.
How the fuck are you gonna say that this game about Brexit is apolitical? How are you gonna do that, Ubisoft? Come on, let's see what mental gymnastics you can do today.
So yeah, the official synopsis is that Watch Dogs Legion is set in a near-future dystopian version of London. It's a post-Brexit world in which society, politics, and technology have changed and altered London's fortunes.
Look, they
London
even
is one of the
say
most iconic
politics.
cities in the world. Blah 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 blah.
But it's not political.
One of the other cool things though is that it says is that you can play as anyone. every individual you meet in the open world has a full set of animations, voiceover, character traits, and visuals that are generated and guided by gameplay systems. So this sounds like that you can basically play as anybody in the world. How deep that is, who knows? But
I'll take not very deep for 5.
Is it gonna
Alex.
be? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be like that game Mind Jacked?
Oh, I remember that game.
I remember
the game was
that.
cool. That was cool.
It might be something that could turn out to be deeper than we imagined, because Ubisoft have been working on this like AI calculation tool for a long time, and that's what they're using to procedurally generate all these different story arcs and everything for characters. So, it's still procedural generation, and that always has caveats. But at the same time, with the amount of money and time investment that they've given towards this technology, it could be better than we expect.
I was reading after I did mine, I read the Kotaku one, and they've written here, so play as anyone, every individual you meet, and then Jason Schreier writes that I've heard the same, and also you'll see different things at different points in the game depending which NPC you're playing as. In fact, from what I've heard, this system is so ambitious that it's been causing the developers a lot of headaches and may have led to at least one delay. So I guess that sounds like it's going to be deeper than what we all think.
And good old Vitamin J, I trust him. I trust him. I'd take a bullet for him.
Very reputable.
So that's that's Watch Dogs Legion, which looks very cool. Kieron, are you excited for that? I think.
Yeah. I quite liked Watch Dogs 2, and the first game was okay, and I'm interested to see where they're taking this one with that whole NPC aspect and what story implications it has and what gameplay implications it has. Without really having seen anything, it's hard to say. And hopefully they don't do a No Man's Sky where they're like, look at all these beautiful procedurally generated planets, and then in real life, like, your Watch Dogs 3 characters are all like palette swapped Minecraft people.
I'm keen, and I guess we'll see it next week. Azza, do you want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, or do you want to leave that until post E3? Because they might.
What we have about 2077 is really like, we still haven't seen any gameplay. There has been gameplay revealed, but not publicly. So I think we'll need to wait until E3.
What? Didn't they have that big video?
Yeah, there's like 40 minutes of it.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they released. Is it the behind? I think it was the behind closed doors video from last year. They end up releasing it like a week later or something.
Snap.
All right, so we'll jump into some E3 discussion then.
We'll just cut it out.
Professionalism.
So okay. We'll move on to some E3 discussion. We'll kick it off with Microsoft because they're first in the conference schedule. And Kieron, you're doing the Microsoft predictions for the website. So
I am.
If you want to take reins on this.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying to you, I am not the biggest Xbox fan this generation. Like, I play it for the exclusives, and it's just not my main console, and I haven't really been
exclusives.
Exactly. So I haven't been following things as closely as I should have, but I think it's pretty easy to predict that this will be one of their biggest showings, especially with Sony out of the picture.
Yeah.
And all the studios they've been buying, and all the first party games that they have sort of in the works that they haven't shown much of, and all the third parties are going to want to jump on without anywhere else to go.
Do you think that they'll reveal more studio acquisitions?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, they're just quietly just buying up everything they can.
Yeah, they're
prep
getting
themselves for next gen.
Oh yeah, which I think we'll see this year. I think we'll see it.
Yeah. So obviously, aside from all of those games, I think there's a good chance that they will talk about new hardware. I don't know if they'll show. I don't know if they'll reveal it yet, because like with the One X, they first announced it E3 2016 as, hey, we're working on something, and then it's it's here's the code name of the console and it's going to be pretty good, and then it wasn't until a year later that they actually revealed it. So I don't know. I'm half expecting them to do the same thing.
Is that when Phil Spencer went on about the teraflops and stuff
Yeah,
like that? And
yeah.
everyone was like blown away, and they were like, "What even is this?"
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, all in, I think it's going to be probably the longest E3 conference we've seen in a while, because it seems like they've got so much to pack into it.
Oh yeah.
Well, they've said it's going to be 2 hours long.
Ooh,
Okay, cool.
damn.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
And Phil Spencer tweeted the other day that they finished rehearsals, or the final rehearsal, for their show, and they got they've got 14 first-party titles to show
crazy.
The
So you
Age
got
of
the obvious
Empires 4.
ones.
Empires 4, please.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got the obvious ones. You've got your Halo Infinite, which I'm sure everybody's waiting for. You got stuff that they sort of haven't really touched too much on, like the Gears spin-offs that they're doing, Gears Tactics,
Funko
and
Pops.
the stupid
If they
Funko Pop
if
game.
they announce that they're canceling the Gears Funko Pop game, I will be very happy.
I wouldn't bet on it.
And you got like Battletoads, and then
I
there's
forgot
stuff
about Battletoads.
there's stuff that they still need to date, like Ori, and the
What about Bleeding Edge?
what?
What about Bleeding Edge, that Ninja Theory game?
Yeah, that. And you got like the upcoming Cuphead expansion, and
Ooh, yes.
no doubt there'll be some kind of Forza announcement, whether that's a new game or expansion to Horizon 4.
But will they bring a car in from the ceiling?
I hope so. I hope they bring in more cars than ever.
More cars than ever.
Yeah, all like 600 or 700 cars that feature in Forza. That's
They're
why it
not
takes so
cars, they are vroom vrooms.
long. Okay. And then I mean, like,
So what? No, you guys.
I was just gonna say, most of what I'm hoping to see and is hard to predict is going to be what all their first party studios or their newly acquired studios are doing, and what all the third party studios are going to bring that we haven't seen. So
I guess what do we know? We know. So if you're saying that there's 14, we know Infinite.
yeah,
Ori Will of the Wisps. Whips. Gears 5.
Gears 5.
How many Gears?
the other two
spin-offs?
spin-offs.
Is there 2?
Yeah.
2.
So what's that? So 6 games? I've
You
probably lost
got
count.
you got Battletoads.
Yeah,
It-
and then probably a Forza.
Do you reckon they'll show Master Chief Collection?
Mm,
Yeah, well, see, that's the
that-
thing is like, how many old games are they going to
Yeah,
show?
I think
Well, not show, but sorry.
they
yeah.
do well to
Yeah.
steer away from that.
Although, I think this year might be the year. I think this might be the year we get another Banjo-Kazooie game. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, that would be through Rare, correct?
It wouldn't have to be, but
But they're the most logical.
yeah,
Yeah, and
And
Microsoft
they're
still
doing
does
what,
own the
Sea of
they're
IP.
still
Thieves.
tinkering away at Sea of Thieves, like
And Battletoads.
and Battletoads. They're busy.
They're busy.
And we've got
Sorry, as a
we've got
No,
we've got
I
a
have proof. This isn't just a tin hat theory. There is a figure company called Exquisite Gaming that teased a new figure for Banjo-Kazooie. And one of the interesting details on it was that the backpack is a new design. Now, this wouldn't
Is it an
normally be
Xbox?
very newsworthy, but every single time they've released a figure with a new design, it's been just before a new project is announced. You had Sonic before Sonic Mania, you had Crash before the Insane Trilogy, you had Spyro before the Reignited Trilogy. It goes pretty far back.
Okay.
And there was
I'm
and
sold.
Iron Man with the announcement of Endgame as well. And when they were quote unquote confronted about it on Twitter, they said, "We couldn't possibly say." So, yeah, I can feel it. Either that
Okay.
or Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, which is just as likely.
yeah. Well, I guess they've got that partnership with Nintendo and stuff now.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
and what I guess is it the Fable 4 rumors?
There's been rumors swirling about a reboot, which would be cool.
And this might be a little bit off topic, but what's the thing on Baldur's Gate? Was that that wasn't Xbox related, was it?
No.
No, there were rumors on Baldur's Gate 3 or something that I read.
from the team behind Divinity.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Larian
guess.
Studios.
Okay. Yeah, and you've got so what Jordan said with the Hellblade developers, and who else they
They've
also
got
who else
in
did they acquire?
Exile.
Yeah,
What were the others?
and they did Wasteland, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Maybe we might see something from Obsidian that doesn't have to do with the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty
Possibly.
heavily spruiking the Outer Worlds, though. I don't know if they'll have much else.
True.
But what is going to be interesting is, I guess, their range of third-party games that they show off, because, like Kieron said, that there's no Sony now, so
Yeah.
the only place to really show them is at
There's no Sony and there's no EA,
is at Xbox.
so
Yeah,
it should be pretty packed.
So you've written here from reading your the draft of your piece,
Spoilers.
but you reckon Dying Light 2?
yeah,
will
it's
be
Dying
shown
Light's
up,
a
which I
tough
reckon
one.
is a very big call.
It's either going to be there or it's going to be at the Square Enix one now that they're on publishing duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't not know that.
Oh. Well, yeah, they're publishing it in the West.
No, I reckon it's lock it in, Eddie. Lock it in for Microsoft.
All right.
Yeah, all right, Zach. I'll lock it in for you.
Thanks, mate.
We'll probably see
And
Cyberpunk
I
as
reckon,
well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Cyberpunk. What else are the other? What are the big third parties one you could see? I mean, possibly a new game from Capcom.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they showed
Uh,
Devil May Cry 5.
Maybe the Monster Hunter DLC.
Monster Hunter.
Ah,
Iceborne.
DLC
that.
for Monster Hunter Worlds. That would be interesting.
Because the last couple of years they've announced like Resident Evil 7 and obviously Resident Evil 2 through PlayStation. And if they are working on an RE3 remake or something else, then I guess
Remake
this
Resident
is
Evil
the
6.
place to do it. They
Yeah.
should remake Resident Evil 2, the new one.
I want to see
Should
Chris
remake
punch a
Resident Evil
boulder in
5 and
HD.
6.
What interests me?
Um,
sorry to cut you off there, but what
There you go.
I'm
I had nothing to say.
what I'm not sure about is going back to the hardware thing. If they are potentially talking about hardware this year, and they do have third parties, they're looking to show off their games. I think I touched on this in an earlier podcast, but it would mean that a lot of third parties would want to be sort of announcing a cross-generational release as well, and that kind of leaves Sony out of it if they don't have anything to show.
Well, Sony haven't had
you know-
anything to show all year. Like, why do you think they're not doing their own thing this year as well?
Yeah, but if Sony hasn't announced hardware yet and Xbox do, and all their third-party vendors are like, cool, coming to PlayStation, Xbox One, and the next Xbox, it's going to be interesting if that happens and they're sort of all leaving Sony out of the equation.
That's an interesting take. We'll see how things go.
Yeah.
Because Sony's in the position that they were after the PS1 and the PS2, where they're starting to get too comfy in their own hubris.
Mm-hmm.
So of course Microsoft has to like pick up the pace if it wants to win everybody back, like it did with the Xbox 360.
And
That
like it
game
won't.
was the best console of that generation.
Yeah,
Did I say that game was the best console?
you did, but we got
Well,
your point. And you're right.
You can fix it in post.
I'm going to
Leave it in.
highlight it, not fix it.
That's going to be the intro.
That's gonna
Yep.
it's gonna be bass boosted.
We'll move on to Bethesda, and our good fellow Joshua Ricks, little Rixie. He's done a Bethesda predictions article that went up this morning. Yeah, it went up this morning. Has anyone read much about what Bethesda are going to be doing at E3 apart from?
Doom. Let's so keep it Doom.
Oh, Doom. God, Doom
Is
2016
it
was
new
just so
Doom game?
good.
There's your intro.
Doom.
Yeah, no, I'm keen to see what they do with Doom Eternal. The first one was pretty badass.
I just want to see that. I just want to see that sword again. I just want to see that goddamn sword again. That was so killer.
Do you reckon that'll be their major player this year?
It has to be.
That or Wolfenstein.
Yeah, they can't really talk much about Fallout 76.
As in the new one coming in next month?
No. They're going to talk about the New Order.
Oh no!
No, I
not
thought you
New
meant like
Order, Youngblood.
No, like they're going to do like a new one.
No. They're going to talk about Youngbloods.
Youngblood, yeah. Which is a game I'm keen for, as it looks like they're going back to the bombastic nature of the New Order as opposed to the more glass jaw kind of thing that they were going for with New Colossus, which didn't make it a bad game. It just killed the pace a little bit.
Do you think that they'll announce a Wolfenstein mobile game?
If they do, I'm
They
probably
need
going to
to
download it
say-
because I'm just a huge sucker.
If
I
they
reckon they'll
do,
announce a Wolfenstein mobile phone.
if they do announce a Wolfenstein mobile game, they have to follow it up with "Do you not all have phones?"
Return to Castle Wolfenstein mobile port. I'm predicting it right now.
So Josh has also written, what's he got here? He reckons that they'll see possibly something about Starfield. He goes, the first major obstacle was trying to sell Starfield to an audience after Fallout 76. But someone has commented on our post saying that they said that Starfield won't be.
Yeah, I
at
thought
E3.
I read that.
I haven't heard anything, but then again, I haven't looked for anything about that, so I don't know if that's So that might have been a thing because they did say, I think, didn't they say last year after the conference that it was like ages away?
I think it might just be an issue of it doesn't work well enough for Todd Howard to just say it just works behind it.
It just works.
Yeah, damn.
Do you think he'll
Hope
do you
he
think
says
he'll
that.
call people degenerates this year again? I think he will.
I reckon we'll see the new Elder Scrolls expansion. No, sorry, the Elder Scrolls Online expansion.
The one that released today?
Yeah, well, I reckon they'll show a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Just a reminder. Hey guys, it's out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, for that. Josh reckons they may announce a new Evil Within or a new project from Tango Gameworks.
Didn't get to read the full thing, but I did see a headline saying that they might be announcing a game from the Evil Within 2's director. It might not be Evil Within 3 or, Evil Within subtitle.
If they were doing a direct sequel, they would have gotten the whole team and not just the director. But they might have done that. We don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if Tango Gameworks are doing anything new. Like, I'd be down for an Evil Within 3 because 2 was a massive improvement over the first one.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
a whole new concept would be awesome.
And Josh is hoping that we see Dishonored in VR.
Ooh.
Given that they've brought Doom to VR and
that game would
Wolfenstein-
fit
they're bringing
VR
Wolfenstein
so
to
well.
VR.
It literally has teleportation in it. It would fit VR perfectly.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Ubisoft, unless you guys got any other predictions for Wolfenstein. I mean, for Bethesda.
I think it'll be underwhelming, just like last year's.
Yeah.
They might
I'm
apologize
not
for Rage 2.
expecting big things.
Oh, actually, what about Fallout 76 expansion / updates?
Does anybody care about Fallout 76?
Yeah, 5 people do, and they're very vocal.
5.
Okay,
It's
well,
just like
for those 5
Anthem's
people-
player base.
Yeah, poor old Anthem. That is. That's Carlton-esque. So, Ubisoft, that is going to go up tomorrow. This is a Tuesday if you're listening on the Friday that this podcast gets released. I guess, we've sort of discussed Watch Dogs and Roller Champions already, but I guess the other Ubisoft have already announced that Ghost Recon Breakpoint will be there, as well as Rainbow Six Siege, The Division 2, For Honor, that game is still going. Steep, that game is still going. Trials, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They've said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 won't be there.
Just like I said it wouldn't.
They released an E3 2019 lineup announcement video, and I guess right at the end, is it Yves? I can't pronounce his last name. Gilmore. Eve. Parasite Eve.
That's his name now. Just get that name change ready.
I mean that from the game, not because he's an actual parasite.
How do you know?
True. He says that they got at least a couple more announcements to make. It looks like that they've been roller champions and obviously Watch Dogs Legion. Hopefully, though, that they do give us a cheeky look at the new Splinter Cell, even like by closing off the conference with that. But it's possible that we may even get like a little teaser for the next Assassin's Creed game, the Viking one. I also think that they will talk about Stadia in some capacity, because they have seemed to be one of the companies that are big on it. So they might mention that one of their upcoming games or all their upcoming games are going to be playable on Stadia.
Yeah, Google they are actually doing a Stadia thing very, very soon. No, not
At the
Ubisoft,
end of the
but
week, isn't it?
Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I reckon they might reference maybe a new collaboration with Nintendo, like they sort of did with what's the game that they did?
Mario Rabbids?
Rabbids?
I hope so, because it's so good.
And that other game that no one remembers, Starlink.
Yes. And we might see a little bit of gameplay for Skull and Bones, perhaps, because that game was delayed.
I don't think we'll be seeing that this year.
That was a sort of a maybe. Anybody got any other predictions for
Just Dance 2020?
Let's go.
I did write here that we'll see the traditional Just Dance shenanigans.
And there'll be some awkward celebrity like live performance for it. Like, was it Jason Derulo last time or the time before? That was horrendous.
I don't know, but it's always
weird.
EA Sports Star. You know, it's like that, how they get out that Sports Star and everyone's like cringing.
It'd be nice to see something from the Ubi art division.
Yeah. New Rayman, please.
Yes.
A remaster of
man.
Rayman 2. Come on, guys. Let's go.
But yeah, because that a lot of people don't realize, but Ubisoft has some insanely talented artists.
Oh, yeah, big
amongst them.
time.
Yeah.
Big time.
And their Ubi art division is just one of my faves because their art is just so good.
And they've been dormant for a while since
they have.
Valiant Hearts.
Was Valiant Hearts?
Yeah, they did do that, I think, yeah. All right, we'll move on. Square Enix. Kieran, if you want to jump on this.
All right, so my biggest and maybe pretty risky call, but I am hoping they will surprise drop a Final Fantasy VII demo.
They won't. That game is never coming out.
They said that about Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Yeah. No doubt they'll be showing that off as much as they can after recently revealing it, which will be exciting. And then obviously we're going to see whatever they're cooking up with the Avengers game, which if you read my little prediction piece, all signs point to some kind of persistent world, whether it's in the form of like a shared world Destiny style, shooter action game or an MMO of some kind, which I think would really fit the whole Marvel media takeover where they're tying in their films with their comics, with their TV shows, with anything they can get their hands on. So I think if they created a universe in game form and had that tie into everything else as well, that would be big business for them. And I think it just came out today that they released a teaser for Outriders, which is a game they trademarked over a year ago. And I actually predicted us seeing it last E3. So if you go back and look at my Square Enix E3 2018 article, I'm like, oh yeah, they'll definitely show Avengers and Outriders. So let the record show that I was right about that. I was just a year early.
So we can just call
You're a
Nostradamus
super
now.
clairvoyant.
And then other than that, it's hard to say what else. They've got a lot of good IP that they're sitting on. They've got things like Dragon Quest and obviously Final Fantasy. And they've got like a lot of Western studios as well.
Do you reckon we'll be seeing more of the Dragon Quest Walk game?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll announce a Western rollout for that because so far that's Japan only.
Yeah,
I
I
did see
can't imagine it'd be
uh,
that popular in the West, though.
I did see DQ12 got announced like today, I think.
Ooh.
I missed that. And why is everything
I've-
coming out post us writing our articles?
No, I think that was there's like talk that they've started working on it. So I think
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lockie Robinson linked that to me. I didn't get a chance to see it because I was busy at work, but I'm pretty sure that's what the headline was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely
question-
think. Sorry.
No, I was going to say a question for you. Do you think they could, if they don't close with a Final Fantasy demo drop, do you think, Final Fantasy 7 drop, could they tease Final Fantasy 16?
Probably not. I think everyone would be a little bit pissed off if they announced a new Final Fantasy game before finishing up the remake that they've been trying to do for however many years now. But I mean,
Okay, so
maybe. I mean, it's
so
separate.
they're not sort of.
They have separate
Yeah.
teams and studios, obviously. But I don't know. It's only sort of been recently that they eventually gave up on releasing new content for Final Fantasy 15 that they'd promised. So I think they're going through a little bit of restructuring and sort of unclear about the future direction of the series. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I do think we'll definitely see Kingdom Hearts DLC though, which is exciting.
What about Babylon's Fall?
And Babylon's
Star-
Fall.
a-
Yeah, the
a
Platinum
Star
Games
Wars,
project.
A Star Wars world for Kingdom Hearts. That's what I want.
Well, it could be like now that they've got the whole greater Disney universe to tap into. Well, if Disney's willing to license all that stuff out to them, there's a lot of potential for cool DLC for Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, as Jordan said, they've also got Babylon's Fall that they announced last year, which they'll hopefully show off, which is co-developed with Platinum, which is cool. And I definitely want them to show off a Quiet Man 2. Which
Yes, Zach.
Oh,
one of the gems of this year.
did you bought that digitally? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh no, you couldn't because that was the only way that you could buy it.
My condolences.
Yeah, no, I didn't even buy that.
It was
That's how bad it is.
it shouldn't have been allowed to be sold, is how bad it was.
Well, I'm down for number 2 then. We'll jump to Nintendo, and Azza, this is your baby.
This
so
is my forte. Right.
the floor is yours.
Cool. What we're definitely going to see is more of Luigi's Mansion 3 and
Yes.
Animal Crossing Switch, because those games still have a release date of 2019, and we haven't seen anything of them aside from those old
Don't you
announcements.
dare forget my baby.
I forgot what your baby was.
Zola.
Ah, yes, that'll come. We'll see more of Link's Awakening, I bet. Yeah, we'll also get more of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is coming out next month. Just like a little trailer to remind people that it's coming. You'd be a fool to not keep that hype train going. And Pokemon Sword and Shield are getting their own direct. I think like tomorrow or in a couple days. So I don't think they'll be necessarily showing up in a substantial scale.
Do you think they're gonna show the number 4 for Metroid Prime 4 again, but this time made by Retro?
Yeah, just a newly designed graphic.
Yeah. We're not going to be seeing anything from that game for a while if job postings for Retro Studios are to be believed. They put up job postings for a lot of roles that are necessarily used for early on in development, very early on in development. So I don't think we're going to be
Seems
seeing that
they've
for a while.
kind of restructured that completely.
What we could be seeing. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say exactly what you're about to say.
Okay. Yeah, it could. And luckily, Game Informer's Imran Khan, I think, recently retweeted that the Metroid Prime trilogy compilation from the Nintendo Wii is apparently going to get a Switch release. It was apparently meant to come out last month. So either he's bullshitting, which I don't think is happening. Imran Khan's pretty reliable, as is Game Informer in general. They usually get some pretty sick.
Don't ask Randy Pitchford though.
So yeah, I think we might see a little bit of that just to placate the Metroid fans.
Do you think it'll be a?
Because
Do you think it'll be a surprise drop? Considering it was meant to be out last month.
Yeah, like they'll say something like, "We are sorry for the delay. Here you go." What else are we gonna see? We'll see more a little bit. I think we'll see a little bit more of Mario Maker 2, although not a lot, because it's actually going to have a tournament in one of the World Championship things that Nintendo are doing alongside Splatoon 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't think we're going to be seeing Bayonetta 3 either, because that game was the release date of that game was silently pushed back in, I think, February to TBA. So there's that. And another thing I think we can definitely rely on seeing is more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate content, because we still have 4 fighters left in that first DLC pack. They call it DLC. They call it Fighter Pack 1 for a reason. I think we'll be seeing more of that.
See, what I'm
Now,
secretly hoping for is for them to announce that they're bringing the 3D Zelda game to the Switch. Especially Wind Waker HD, because there's no reason why that shouldn't be on the Switch.
Yeah, it would be that's actually a Wii U port I'd be happy to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way I can just buy Wind Waker again. I've already got it on GameCube, I've already got it on Wii U, and by Jiminy, I'm going to get it on Switch.
Do you think they'll announce more back catalog stuff for the online subscription that isn't necessarily the NES?
Yeah.
Like maybe further
not necessarily
looking?
for the NES. It's tough. It's a tough thing to say. Like, we know we'll get more NES games, because those things are just super easy to put on.
Yeah.
They take up no space. It's fine. In terms of Super NES stuff, that's when things get a little bit tricky, because then you'd have to put 2 emulators on the Switch as opposed to just 1, which causes its own set of problems. But we'll definitely get more NES games. Super NES games might a little bit unlikely, but not altogether impossible. What I really want is, I ask for it every year, Father Christmas. I ask for it every year. Can I get a new Advance Wars, please? That's all I want. I'll be a good boy all year. And if you give me F-Zero, I'll go to church almost every Sunday for the rest of my life.
Wipeout's better.
Do you think that
I'll fucking hurt you.
you'll see any info on the new Animal Crossing?
No, there is actually zero info aside from that original teaser. So that's something we'll definitely see more of.
Okay, cool. We'll jump into some quick PC stuff. I'm not sure how much there is to sort of predict with that, but Azza, if you want to go on that, and then maybe Jordan, you can. Do they ever talk about hardware at E3? I can't.
There's a bit of a different way this year, because A&D have announced that they're going to be at E3, and I doubt they'll be going on about their hardware at the Microsoft press conference, because that would be completely out of place. Because they're not going to go, oh, here's our super high-end GPU to people that want to buy an Xbox. It makes no sense. So I have a feeling that they're going to show all their high-end stuff at the PC Gamer Show, which will be good, because so far what they've shown of Ryzen 3 and the Navi architecture looks really good, but you can't really say too much until we see more, so it'd be nice.
Are there any games that you think that we'll see at the PC show?
We'll definitely see more of Mountain Blade 2, because everybody and their dog who owns a PC is keen for Mountain Blade 2. It would be PR poison not to put it in there. What I want to see is a little bit more of 83, which is an upcoming shooter that I wrote a little bit about, from the developers of Rising Storm 2 and Rising Storm 1, set during the early 80s in a Cold War gone hot. So I'm very, very, very excited for that. That's my jam.
I'd be interested. I know that I forgot the developer's name, but I know that there's CitizenCon for Star Citizen, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it makes an appearance at the PC Gamer Show, because
it probably will.
They've started making a lot of advancements for the game, which is nice to see. They kind of just gotten out of the rut that they were in recently, which is good.
All right. Well, before we move on to some sort of E3 wishlist stuff, we'll quickly wrap up the E3 predictions. Does anyone have any predictions for, I guess, some of the other companies like THQ or Koch Media, Warner Brothers, Bandai, all that sort of stuff?
I think Warner Brothers is going to be all Mortal Kombat and nothing but Mortal Kombat.
Okay, well,
You
that was going
reckon,
to be
you
one of
reckon
my
no
questions.
Lord of the Rings?
Well, I was going to ask, do you reckon we'll see the new Rocksteady game during Microsoft's show?
Oh, I forgot they existed. Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
And I reckon, and Kieron will probably be interested in this, I reckon we may even get a release date for Twin Mirror
Oh yeah, I completely
from
forgot about
Bandai.
that. Yeah.
But that's all I can really think of from those people.
So if Twin Mirror breaks, do you get twice the amount of bad luck?
Apart from that, maybe is there a season pass for Metro? Because maybe Deep Silver,
Yeah,
Kosh
there is,
will,
yeah.
maybe
I
they'll
was-
throw
I
something
was
out
very
for that.
upset to see that the season pass for Metro didn't come under the sale on the Epic Store. It made me very sad.
Aw.
EA, they look like they've sort of given up this year after being smashed with Anthem. Devolver, I don't think they've got anything
They're just gonna have
major.
a killer conference.
Yeah. They got
Yeah.
My Friend Pedro, which is coming out this month. I don't think it's got a date yet, so they may say, hey, it's out tomorrow or something. That game actually looks pretty cool. I know that Adam
Yep.
from the websites from WellPlayed came from that. Activision, they're going to probably be all about Modern Warfare, and it's interesting this year that Sony aren't at E3 because
Yeah, 'cause
Sony
usually they're hosting the Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah,
and there's
so-
there's none of the usual, like, I mean, it's still early, but there's none of the usual PlayStation branding around their marketing yet either. So
Well, they've
No.
already announced that the extra content will be handled the same where PlayStation gets it early. I think
Oh,
it's
they have
about
it,
a
did they?
week or something. Yeah, they did.
damn. Okay. Well, okay, they're
well.
still doing that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they are.
And 2K, I don't think 2K. Oh, sorry, they got Borderlands, so that'll probably have a
Yeah.
big thing at
Perhaps.
Microsoft.
What's Ken Levine been doing these days?
That's what I'm interested to know.
Yeah, what's Ken Levine been doing? So, because if we get a new Bioshock this year, I'm all on fucking board.
Is he? No, he didn't. No, don't worry.
He's not the guy from Maroon 5.
No, I was going to say, did he join that new Microsoft Super Studio, the initiative? But then I realized I was thinking of somebody different. Cool. All right. Well, we'll move to some E3 wishes and what you guys hope to sort of see. Does anyone want to kick it off?
Well, what I want to see. This is like tinfoil hat predictions, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit. They can be
Awesome.
semi-real, or well, they can be a bit of both. Yeah.
Awesome. Because one series that we haven't seen for a while is a little one called Company of Heroes.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
And-
that game that had a tie-in with one of the
one
Team
of the Sonic Racing games.
Yeah, that Kieron was
I went-
confused about.
I gave that a thumbs up last time I was on the podcast.
I
actually.
googled that as soon as we finished, and you're right. And I've never been so disappointed in not being a PC gamer.
I mean, because from what we know, Relic's been loaned out to Microsoft from Sega to develop Age of Empires 4. We know that's still happening, but they have said before that they are working on a second project, and I don't think, unless they're doing another Dawn of War, which, considering the last one they did, I think Games Workshop will be more than willing to let them just set the record straight. But it has been 5 years since the last Company of Heroes game, and if it does come out, please make it a Pacific Theater game. I don't want the game to have more Germans in it. I'm sick to death of Germans.
Kieran, what's something that you're
There's your intro. I'm sick to death of Germans.
looking for?
Wow. I just want to see more wicked indie stuff. That's
Okay.
like it's been my highlight of the last few E3s. Is just all the really cool shit that all the indie studios are doing.
Do you think
and-
that EA might do it because they've pretty much said they're not going to announce anything? Do you reckon they might do a little surprise announcement of a new EA Originals game, or because
I
Yeah.
think they might focus on Sea of Solitude first and foremost, to be honest.
Yeah, see, those are usually the highlight of the EA conference, and the only reason I watch them most of the time. So it's kind of it's weird that they're not going to be doing anything, because maybe that means that there's nothing there. But I mean, there's any number of franchises that I would love to see make a comeback. Like you and I both agree on Dino Crisis.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's here
There
in my
we
list
go.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I would wet myself if Square Enix announced like a new Parasite Eve or something like that, or a new like Chrono game or something. But
I'd be down for
I'm trying
a new Chrono game.
to
would
keep
be-
my expectations in check and not get too crazy.
But this Parasite Eve, the new one, has to feature the guy from Ubisoft and not actual Eve.
Parasite Eve Guillermo.
Actually, that's going to be the name of the podcast.
Great.
Not really.
He's gonna love that.
Yeah, no, just to sort of ride your coattails there, my list here, at the top of it was a new Dino Crisis or Onimusha reboot.
That would also be fantastic.
I reckon that I would really hope that they being Capcom, don't go back to the RE well again in terms of reboots. I hope they kind of go something a bit different.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. I think they will like try to spice it up a little bit.
I got a feeling it's going to be RE3. But I really hope that they do go like a Dino Crisis or Onimusha. The other one that I can you, Kieran, maybe even you, Azza, and you, Jordan, that would be get excited for, as I've got here, is I would love to get a new or some sort of Time Splitters announcement.
Yeah.
Whether that's a HD trilogy
Yes.
release or that, hey, Time Splitters 4's back in development and it's coming in 2020 or whatever.
But it won't be called Time Splitters 4. It'll just be called Time Splitters.
Yes.
Just Time Splitters, because that's what reboots are like now.
It'd be called TS.
Yeah, so I'd be keen on that. Jordan, what's one of your wishes if you had a genie?
If I had a genie, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've just vocalized how much I want all the 3D Zeldas on one platform, because trying to play them all is a pain in the ass because you need like a million different emulators. But outside of that, I would actually love to see more Metroid Prime 4. I know we probably won't, but it would be really nice
we're
to
not
see.
going to see Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know, boys can dream, right?
Yeah. Why do you think I ask Daddy Christmas for Advance Wars every year?
Is there anybody else got it? Jordan, you got any other ones?
Yeah,
I've got a
I would
few.
love to see a new Splinter Cell, but I don't know if we will, purely
That's on my
because it
list.
seems like Ubisoft may not want to touch it unless Clint Hocking is touching it, because you know the good Splinter Cell games were because of him.
Well, that's actually in my predictions piece, and Eve or whatever his name is, Parasite. He has spoken about the Splinter Cell franchise, and they are definitely doing something with it. But
Yeah,
from what
I
it
read that
sounds
too,
like,
but
though, is that it's definitely not. I thought it was going to be announced last year after Walmart Canada did all those leaks, and pretty much all of them came true. I was like, yeah, this is happening. I was ready.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
yeah, it's
I think it's
I-
further away.
Yeah, I would say it's further away. From what I was reading with a lot of the Watch Dogs leaks, is that they were doing Watch Dogs this year in place of Splinter Cell because it seemed like they're a bit further on it, especially with, you know, their god Clint Hocking coming back, because he's a rock star. Yeah, it would be nice to see Splinter Cell again. I love mucking around in the old Splinter Cell games, even as janky as they can be.
I loved Blacklist.
Oh, I can't stand Blacklist.
You're on my blacklist.
Oh man, you know what? If Blacklist
It's a pretty long
is in your,
blacklist.
if Blacklist is on your good list, I'll be on your blacklist.
Azza, you got anything else on your wish list?
Please, I just want another Banjo-Kazooie game. It's all I want.
Just like nuts and bolts.
And also, I just want Age of Empires 4 to be good. I want it to be good. If it's just like an Empire Earth style deal where they try to do all different eras, I'm just gonna switch off. Just keep it simple, keep it clean, and keep it cool. What I want to see is an Age of Empires game set during the scramble for Africa. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah, that'd be quite cool. Kieran, do you got anything?
All I want to see is Psychonauts 2. And I know that's
Yeah.
going to be there, so I'm happy.
I guess, yeah, sort of similar to you, and this is what we spoke about last week with our games that we're still keen for, but I'm hoping we get a release date for Greedfall. That's one of my Wishes. After it's been delayed a few times, it looks like it's probably going to come out this year. So I'd hope we get an actual date. And same with a game that I know it's probably all on your list as well, but Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts.
Actually,
yes.
yeah, that was on my wish list too. My wish list was they're going to announce the cancellation of Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts.
Yes.
Yes, they tweeted today that there's going to be an official gameplay trailer come out on June the 6th. So, I don't know, maybe we might get a date, maybe we won't. Just hope it's just as janky as the rest of them, and I'll be right around it.
Here's hoping.
Anybody else?
No, I'm all tinfoiled out, I think.
More
I got
Splatoon
Dishonored
2
3.
DLC. I would love more Splatoon 2 DLC.
Not happening.
Oh, I know it's not happening, but it would be lovely because the Octo expansion was just so
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh yeah, Octorok
I
was.
still need to play that. It looks awesome.
It is awesome.
It is very, very fun. Just
It'll
at this
kick your
point in
ass.
time, you're going to be playing against like a lot of very, very like experienced people.
Yeah, that's fine. I suck anyway.
Well, no, the Octo expansion has a lot of single player stuff. It's got like
Yeah, it does. It has heaps of single player
yeah,
stuff.
and it's really well designed.
Salmon Run's really fun too.
Salmon Run is great. So good. What are your thoughts on Salmon Run, Zach?
I actually prefer trout to salmon. Just
Zach
Just
loves
like
a late night salmon run.
It's
Like a
Salmon.
Macca's run,
I
except
don't
you
know
just go
what
to
that
the.
means.
Splatoon 3 DLC. Macca's Run.
We might quickly just do a couple of quick indie ones. I know that Kind of Funny are doing a showcase. They're going to show off a lot of
Yeah.
indie devs there and games. Sorry, I'm hoping because they did announce Moving Out, the new SMG studio game. Was it last year? It was last year on the Kind of Funny Games showcase. I reckon that'll be there. Hopefully, we get a release date for that, and possibly even Untitled Goose Game. I mean, at this point, it's probably going to be called Goose Game. But that might be there possibly. Though that seems more aligned to Nintendo, so that might even be at the Nintendo. I don't think
Nintendo have been getting pretty cozy with a lot of indie stuff.
I think Aetherborn will get a release date at on the Kind of Funny thing. I think they said they were in that, so that'll be cool to see. I don't know if you got any indies in particular, Kieron.
I don't know. I haven't really been following the Kind of Funny stuff, other than again Psychonauts, but something that I hope to see again. I can't remember if it was 2 E3s or 3 E3s ago that Microsoft showed it at their conference, but the last night, the
Oh yeah,
pixel
like the
art,
Cyberpunk pixel game.
Cyberpunk, yeah. That
Yes. Yeah.
at the time wanted nothing more than that game, and
Yeah,
it's
it
just kind of
looks so
disappeared.
good.
So fingers crossed.
Cool. Oh, hopefully some of our wishes come true. I reckon all of Marvel because I'm a good boy.
Are you a
Are
clairvoyant?
you really?
We'll quickly finish up just with a little bit of off-topic talk again. Actually, no, sorry. Before we do that, I'll read a couple community responses out. If you guys want to join in the community discussion, you can join our community Facebook group on the WellPlayed Facebook. A couple of these are some predictions and some some wishes from some community members. Harry De Bruyne, however you pronounce his last name, he reckons that he's got a feeling that Microsoft might reveal the next generation Xbox during their conference, and he reckons that we might see them announce some more studio acquisitions. Cameron Robinson, a big supporter of the website, so shout out to Cameron Robinson. He hopes that we see a Cyberpunk release date end of 2020, he thinks we will see a Cyberpunk release date at end of 2020 to coincide with the launch of the next gen consoles. Watch Dogs 3 he was hoping to see, which obviously we'll see now. Rocksteady's next game will be announced, he hopes. And Bethesda will give some more details on Starfield, which, as we've discussed, is probably unlikely. Azza reckons that dude, Azza will nail everything. Shout
And
out
I
to
will.
Azza. And Lockie Robertson, another big supporter of the website, so shout out to Lockie Robbo. He is hoping for a Splinter Cell reboot. He reckons it's time that we see Sam Fisher make a glorious yet stealthily come back. He also wants to see a new Banjo-Kazooie game announced during
My man.
Microsoft's E3
My man,
showcase
Lockie.
after 11 years waiting, and he's keen to see Square Enix's Marvel Avengers game and hopes it releases this year. So if you guys want to join in the conversation on Facebook, just join our WellPlayed community group. So I guess we'll close off with some off-topic discussion unless there's any other news that you guys want to talk about.
We still haven't seen Godzilla.
We still haven't seen Godzilla. That's hopefully happening this weekend.
I still haven't seen Godzilla.
Man, this
either.
episode was supposed to be titled Podzilla. You guys are letting me down.
That's going to be next time.
E3.
I better be.
Podzilla.
I guess, in other quick news, Shenmue 3 was delayed again.
Again.
Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC.
The
Rockstar
DualShock
Games, there's more. Jim Sterling did a Jimquisition episode about more issues that are arising at Rockstar Games and how they're a big bunch of pricks, pretty much.
Surprise.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens from that. And I think that's all. Or there's something about Todd Howard here, but I have no idea what it's.
Well, basically, what he
referring
said
to.
is he goes,
Yeah.
"We knew Fallout 76 was going to suck, but we released it anyway. We're going to fix it later."
Nice.
It just works, okay?
It just works.
Just works.
It just works.
It's funny. Him and Jensen Huang, the CEO for Nvidia, say the exact same thing.
I have
So
no idea.
you're
who
saying
that
that
is.
they're the same people?
I'm pretty sure they are.
All right, I guess we'll close with a bit of off-topic chat. I've seen Aladdin. Kieran, did you go see Aladdin?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen anything. I've been lazy.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go see it on the weekend.
I thought I was too.
Well, you let me down. I quite liked it. As we discussed last week, it's a couple of hours, or at least mine, favorite Disney film. Live action film was pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was, for a live action remake of a cartoon I loved as a kid. It was good enough.
How were the musical numbers?
The remakes, if you want to call it, of the songs were quite good. The new songs didn't really jive with me that well, especially one at the very end. They just felt sort of out of place, and I don't know. To me, they didn't really work very well.
Just your rose-tinted glasses doing it for you.
It probably was that, because, and this is why I'm not going to say too much, because I want Kieran to sort of see it first. But there was some things that they didn't have in the remake, or the live action. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a couple scenes that I quite like. A couple of my more favorite scenes of the film, which weren't included. And I guess when you look at it, they can't make it a 1-for-1 sort of live action version of it. But yeah, I was hoping to see a couple of those scenes. Will Smith was quite good. I thought he was. I wasn't sure how he was going to be. I was like, he's got big shoes to fill. But no, he did a good job.
Does the genie have shoes?
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Have you? What do you mean, does Genie have shoes? What's that, man? Of course he does. But no, he was good. Everybody was quite good.
Nice.
It was just good. Anybody seen any other films?
No, but I did watch Chernobyl finally.
Yeah, so did I. So I thought we could have a quick little chat about this. And
How's Will
It's
Smith in
so
Chernobyl?
good.
Will Smith in Chernobyl was very good.
Yeah, Will Smith in Chernobyl. Love that.
They
one.
actually, to stop the radiation, they put his first album on repeat.
Oh, nice.
Throughout the power plant, and actually, it soaked up all the radiation. So
Yeah,
sick.
There you go. But no, it's a lot more brutal than what I thought. I expected it to be quite brutal, but just some of the imagery is with people who have the radiation sickness is.
Oh god,
full
yeah.
on,
That
yeah.
makeup was phenomenal.
Yeah. Are you other two guys gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll
should.
definitely watch it. I've always been interested
You
in
should.
all the events at Chernobyl.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just need to figure out how to actually watch it without putting in too much effort, because I'm a very lazy individual.
Yeah. Luckily I have Foxtel now, or Go, or whatever the the app-based one is. But
Does that come with HBO?
Yeah.
Nice.
The one I have does. But it looks like a show that I have to be in the right mindset for, and B, when I am, will want to binge watch the whole thing. So I'm gonna carve out a date in my diary for that one.
There's only 5 eps. They've only I think the 5th one is out tonight, last night, this week. I don't know the exact.
Yeah. I'll probably end up waiting then until it's.
But I was reading it's like one of the highest rated TV shows.
Yeah, it's
ever.
the highest rated TV show of all time, I think.
Yeah.
Now?
I think it's, I don't know.
It deserves it. It's very, very good.
90, is it 98 or 96% on Rotten Tomatoes? Like, I'm not sure how much weight you give that.
It's really
but yeah, like that.
Radiating with the audience.
Oh, god damn it. Do I have to edit that out?
But, do you love it, Azza?
I love it. I love it with every fiber of my being.
They
got everything. They got everything so right. Obviously, not all the events. Obviously, you have to dramatize that, but
yeah.
They got the zeitgeist down pat perfectly.
The main doctor guy, I forget his name, Jared somebody.
Legasov.
Yeah, but his actor, the guy who plays him.
Not Jared Mogul?
No, but I quite like him as an actor. So I was actually surprised at him and the main politician. Again, I forget his name. But they're very, very, very good in it.
Yeah, they're such a bro team. I love it.
Yeah, it's funny how they. I mean, like we don't want to go into too much spoiler bit, but how they sort of begin their relationship and how it sort of gets to where it is. But then, cool. Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. What did you think? Oh, actually, no. I won't ask that. I'll wait till you guys have all seen it before I ask that. Lastly, I started watching season 2 of The Rain. I know that we've become a big podcast about The Rain.
Can we just call this The Rain?
I haven't seen it.
And it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not amazing.
It is acceptable.
It's sort of
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just waiting for the latest season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to hit Netflix. That's all I'm waiting for.
It's so good so far. The most recent episode is.
Why does it have to take so long?
Just
Makes
watch
me
it on
sad.
SBS.
Yeah, I had to go to my TV for that.
Just
What's a TV?
Exactly.
Just Sea of Thieves it.
No, man.
Sea of Thieves.
That's what I did with Chernobyl. No, I didn't. I totally have Foxtel Go. If you
You
I love
poor
how we
soul.
all said that we hate Foxtel, yet we pretty much all have Foxtel.
Well, what else are we gonna do? Not watch Game of Thrones in 720p?
With ads in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
720p. But yeah, no, The Rain was a bit disappointing. I don't think there's anything else I've watched, played, seen, heard. I don't think there's any good music coming out.
I know Journey is coming out for PC this week.
Yeah, that game's good. That game's
I love
nice
that
and
game.
artsy. Very nice.
You can get it for $5 on Epic, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got. I don't have any other news written down here. Anything else cool to say? Yeah, all right. Well, we might leave it there. Yeah, so if you guys are going to be watching E3, which I know you all listening are going to be, check out wellplayed.com.au. So that's well-played.com.au for all the latest news, expert opinions from Azza and Kieron, and just rad opinions from me and Jordan. Jordan will probably criticise the frame rate of the Twitch stream in something. I'll criticise the lack of AA European blockbusters like Sniper
If
Ghost
the
Warrior.
frame rate is below 60, I'll throw Twitch away.
But yeah, no, check us out, and I think we're going to be, our Discord community chat is going to open up for people to join, which it already is open up for people to join, but we're going to encourage people to join so we can sort of chat with everybody during the conferences and stuff like that. So yeah, head over to the community page and we'll put up a link at some point. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy E3, and we'll speak to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Laters.
Bye.
Brush your teeth.